Hello and welcome to Midweek Peek, a peek behind the scenes at Old South Church in Boston. My name is Nancy Taylor and I am your host today. Today, as our country is torn asunder and facing a moral reckoning on race, I plan to offer a primer on what white people can do. One thing we cannot do is to say, I don't know what to do. Racism, America's original sin. Terrence Floyd, George Floyd's brother, speaking on his brother's murder, says, "A different future is possible because there's a lot of us." May it be so. William Barber helpfully outlines the time we're in by describing it as the Third Reconstruction. The First Reconstruction, of course, post-Civil War, 1863 to 1877, ending the remnants of Confederate succession, abolishing slavery, making the newly freed persons citizens with civil rights ostensibly guaranteed by 3 new constitutional amendments. The Second Reconstruction, the Civil Rights Movement, 1954 to 1968, a decades-long struggle by African Americans and allies to end legalized racial discrimination, disenfranchisement, and racial segregation in the U.S. And the Reverend William J. Barber II describes the period we are in, I think starting with the election of Barack Obama as president, as the Third Reconstruction, finally coming to terms with our original sin. This is a fusion movement, black, white, and brown, poor and rich, women and queer, focusing on a number of areas, including voter suppression, mass incarceration, police brutality, healthcare, and poverty. Loki Mulholland says racism is a white disease. It's a disease we need to cure ourselves of. It's a disease we need to acknowledge, confess, admit, and then try to overcome. What white people can do. And as I said, one thing we cannot do is say, I do not know what to do. White people must trade our comfort and privilege for justice and equality. We can become, in the words of some folks teaching diversity and anti-racism at Procter & Gamble, versed, visible, vocal, and vigilant. 3 white privilege blind spots. 1, you don't have to grow up privileged to have white privilege. It comes with your skin color. Your struggle, no matter what it is, and many of you have many struggles, if you're white, your struggle is not the same. And no, you don't get it, but you can still be an ally. What you can do, speak out, forward Black Lives Matter sites, messages, images to your social media accounts. Let people know that this matters to you, that you care. Be an upstander and a witness. Speak up, stand up to family, friends, co-workers. Silence is deadly. Educate yourself. This is just a handful. White fragility, black theology and black power, the cross and the lynching tree, the new Jim Crow, how to be an anti-racist. Please read. These are important books. There's many more. If you're in a book group, choose one of these as your next book. Advocate. Advocate for the 10 reforms named by Massachusetts lawmakers of color. Google it, look it up, and then write letters, make phone calls, send emails, make your voice heard. Stand behind these lawmakers of color who are making a difference. Show up to Greater Boston Interfaith Organization events, to marches and protests, workshops, and vote. Make your body present in places where it needs to be. And support financially, Move On, the Poor People's Campaign, ACLU, things like that. White people, let's get versed let's get visible, let's get vocal, and let's be vigilant. Well, that's today's edition of Midweek Peak. It's time to get versed, visible, vocal, and vigilant.